I'm standing next to Gerald Morgan from Data Migrator. Gerald, nice speaking to you here at the RecFest festival.
Absolutely.
We've met before, but the last couple of years you're into data migration.
Indeed. Yes.
Especially into the recruitment business.
Absolutely. So we've been doing this for over 10 years now.
10 years already.
And it's quite a niche business we're in. So basically, where we get involved is when a recruitment agency wants to change their recruitment software. And the software they're moving to, that company will call us to see if we can help migrate all of their data, their documents, their notes, transform their data into a format that works in the new system. So we basically work in a couple of different ways. There's a couple of software companies out there we are white labeled behind. Mm-hmm. So they don't know it's Data Migrator. We're their migration department. There's other companies that partner with us and they say we work with these guys to do the work. Yeah. So there's over 100 CRMs now, recruiting CRMs that we've encountered, investigated the schemas of, and we can then migrate from any of those into our own special database that we've created in the middle, and then we migrate out of that into whatever their customer wants to go to.
Yeah. So why is it important? Because I think in every ATS or CMS you can export as a CSV file the data, so you can put it in your new system. So why should I hire you?
Absolutely. Well, there's lots of basic exports and import facilities available, and that might be enough for the customer. But typically, an agency will want the key knowledge that agency's got isn't just the CVs and the people and the jobs. It's the interaction they've had with these people. So activities, notes, phone calls, placements, all the history of the communication is what is unique to the agency. Yeah. That's say different to looking someone up on LinkedIn. So very often agencies want all of this information as well. And typically, a standard CSV import will not offer that level of complexity. Also, if there is a software company that will take a CSV import, that has to be formatted in a very particular way. And not all systems and not all users of those systems can extract the data in the exact format required. So we can help with that bit as well, just a little bit in between, or we can do the full thing.
Yeah. So what's the time scheme you have to deal with normally?
Normally it's fairly quick for a typical project, for a typical agency. We'll get their source data, and within 2 weeks they've got like a version 1, and they can look at their own data in the new system.
Yeah. And do you also can you update it or delete old records, for example?
Yeah, we can manipulate data any way they want. Sometimes we suggest they move it all, and then use the tools within the new system to edit it and improve it and clean it up. Or we offer a data cleansing service as well, where we can remove old records, check GDPR, that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So you said 100 relationship management tools worldwide. So I think so you've got customers all over the world.
Yes. So we started off with UK customers, US, Europe, and now we work with other companies now as well. So we're doing work in Australia as well. Yeah. So it's a small business, but we are kind of global reach in terms of what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you see the look in the future? The importance of the quality of data, moving the data, maybe also other tools, talent management tools, because maybe some video assessment tooling with data in it. Are those also tools you can migrate data?
Potentially. Or? I mean, typically we draw normally documents are the things. The document attachments are the thing, but some of those document attachments can be videos. Yeah. So with that, we are really just moving a file and reattaching it. Yeah. There's not much else you can do. Can't really dive into a video, but yeah. So that's, I think, increasing. And also we're finding now there's more integrations being done. There's this full stack. So we are finding we have to take data from maybe 3 different systems, manipulate it, combine it, and then put it into one system that maybe can do all 3 of those roles.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can also assume companies still have their own ATS. Then they've got a global system, so you have to put all the data from 10 different sources into one new one.
That can happen
Also,
as well.
that's-
That's so on the larger migrations, particularly with acquisitions. So if you have a larger recruitment company,
Buy
they
another.
bring in an agency, they want them to standardise. So we take their data. So we have tools that can merge the data into our middle section, if you like, and then we can transport out of that.
Yeah. So most of the companies are agencies.
Nearly all of our customers are agencies.
And corporates, what do they?
So the interesting, we have done a couple of corporate jobs, but for some reason, in-house corporate teams seem to either rarely change their software, or if they do change it, they tend to not want to migrate much.
Yeah.
They start almost from scratch, or from a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Whereas agencies seem to have a lot more detail they want to bring across.
Yeah, they have their database with a lot of people.
And I suppose you've got things like the ownership of records, so that'll be in the system, which this candidate is owned by this thing, by this person, this job is owned by this person, revenue splits, which maybe is not as important in the corporate hiring.
So what tips do you have for companies who is going to switch with their system?
Well, I'd like to say if they're switching to a system, make sure it's one that Data Migrator moves to, but that's just me. I think really there is a decision to make. You shouldn't move just on the basis of you can get a good migration. You should move on the basis of what it really offers you. And then the migration is very important, but it's a secondary consideration.
Yeah.
So once they've evaluated what's wrong with what they're doing and how to make it better, that's the most important thing. Once they've done that, we'll be there in the background waiting to help to make that move. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.